They play fast and loose with the facts.
Media people think they cannot be criticized. Criticizing them is attacking the First Amendment. They really believe this.
Police officer killed in the line of duty by a paroled gang member.
This is a senseless tragedy that did not need to be. We need to wake up. Enough is enough.
A plane carrying 4 American tourists smashing into a shopping mall. All 4 Americans and the pilot were killed.
A new executive order on immigration could come down at any moment.
There's been a security breach at New York's JFK Airport. 11 people passed through an unattended security checkpoint.
People who don't show up to work, who do cocaine, and are watching porn at work are going to be fired, because I'm not going to tolerate it.
They mad they ain't famous. They mad they still nameless. But we still hood famous. Yeah, we still hood famous. I was just getting into this rap thing. I'm not too good at it, but I was getting into it.
Hey, y'all, I ain't crazy. I'm in a southern state of mind. I can be anywhere.
What's unusual about that? Alice Trebek is rapping. What else is new? I mean, he always does that if you watch every night.
He is one of Canada's most famous 75-year-old rappers.
Until Kevin O'Leary gets into it, who's Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank, and might be the next czar of Canada.
Could be. By the way, you see behind us right there some siren activity. There is actually kind of a big fire in a garage a couple of doors down. Everybody is okay, we believe, but nonetheless, you're going to see those behind us probably for the next hour.
We had makeup artists and hair folks here scrambling to go get their cars out of that garage. I think they said it was the building next to the garage, but they were worried the flames were going to jump. But look at all those fire trucks.
No, I know it. Well, New York City, we're prepared. Meanwhile, Abby Huntsman is not in New York City today. She's actually down in Jacksonville, Florida. She is at the Beach Diner, where the people are up early. Good morning to you, Abby.
Hey, Steve, Ainsley, and Brian. That's right. We're at the Beach Diner in Atlantic Beach, and I'm here with Bob. We're talking politics this morning. We've got our coffee, our orange juice, having a little fried catfish this morning. You say it's some of the best you'll get.
It's the best.
And Bob, what are the biggest issues for you, just real quickly?
Quite frankly, I think the hard core of it is jobs. Jobs and the economy.
We also been talking about immigration. That's probably one of the biggest issues down in this area. Martha McCallum is here tonight doing a town hall. So we're going to be here all morning long, guys, getting the pulse of the people, hearing how they feel things are going.
Yeah, Jacksonville very much in Donald Trump's corner through all this.
Such a beautiful area. Neptune Beach there, Atlantic Beach, it's all so pretty.
Wait a minute. Catfish for breakfast?
Yeah, no, I was wondering the same thing.
Don't the whiskers tickle the roofie about?
I think they rip them out.
Oh, they do?
Right. They don't cook
after they're dead.
Meanwhile, chicken and waffles, one thing.
And catfish. All right.
Chicken of the sea, maybe.
Right.
Have you had catfish stew? It's awesome.
It is
so good.
Really, 3 minutes after the top of the hour, President Trump taking major steps this morning to get back our borders.
The White House is about to unveil an aggressive new immigration overhaul that will give more manpower to the DHS.
Our manpower is in Washington, D.C. His name is Griff Jenkins. He fills us in on what we could expect as early as today. Griff?
He's all man.
Steve, Brian, and Ainsley, good morning. It is a major immigration push coming from the White House, and it could come as early as 8 a.m. This is the implementation of 2 memos sent by DH Secretary John Kelly, giving DHS more manpower and increased authority on the border with a focus on illegal aliens convicted of criminal offenses. The actions will include the immediate return of Mexican immigrants apprehended on the border, the expedited deportation hearings, the hiring of 15,000 additional ICE and Border Patrol agents, and aggressive new measures targeting criminal aliens. Parents who pay to smuggle their children across the border may also be prosecuted. The effort will target those who have unresolved charges as well as those who have abused public benefit programs. Now, this immigration launch, the White House is calling it a big immigration launch, is not the revised executive order or travel ban that we've talked so much about, although we expect that may come any day. It will target those same 7 countries, and it will have exemptions for visas, green card holders, and dual citizens, and will not have an automatic ban on Syrian refugees. So, guys, the message is quite clear with this action. The president is cracking down on illegal immigration, and if you are an illegal alien with a convicted criminal offense past, you may be going home. All this coming on the heels of protests around the country that we've seen from immigrants. I'll be out later today, actually, monitoring for protests.
All right, bring a hard hat, Griff, okay? You always tend to end up in the fracas.
He does indeed.
Griff,
so there's no brand new legislation here. It's all about the president's authority and priorities. Now, one of the things not included, remember that AP story from Friday that said they were going to use 100,000 National Guardsmen to round up people in 11 different states? That not in this. That was labeled by some in the administration as fake news. And speaking
it did not generate from them. Also, something else I think is pretty important. They're not going to say tomorrow at midnight everybody has to go by this order 110%. There's going to be a little bit of a ramp-up time, and General Kelly's going to have a chance to brief everyone at the borders, in different countries, at embassies, to get them up to speed. I think it would also be a good move to get everyone who thinks this is anti-Muslim, put North Korea in there. You know, but just listen, do we want anyone to travel from North Korea without being thoroughly screened? No. Put that in there. So let everyone realize it's nothing
Well, the only
anti-Muslim.
reason he decided on these 7 countries is because that's what President Obama's administration had suggested. It'll be interesting to find out how the mainstream media handles this. I feel like it might be more of a compromise, because now if you have a dual citizenship, if you have a green card, if you have what was the other one? A visa to come in the country from one of those seven countries you're allowed in.
And I just want the fixers that are helping us in war, and Mattis brought that up in Iraq 2 days ago. Those people that have helped us in war, the translators that have already been screened to come back here, they got to be able to come back here.
I had mentioned, excuse me, I had mentioned the AP thing, which people in the administration referred to as fake news. Everybody's talking about the president tweeting out about fake news and about how the media, the enemy of the American people. I think maybe enemy of people on the political right might be more accurate, or the opposition party. Yesterday, given that, the mainstream media pretty much said that Donald Trump had declared war on the mainstream media. And in fact, you look at some of the things they've done recently, you just have to wonder, are they being fair, or are they leaning way to the left?
Look at this tweet. This was from NBC yesterday morning. It says, President Trump reaches 32 days, won't be the shortest U.S. president, referring to William Henry Harrison, who was a president in 1841, who only served 32 days. He died of a pneumonia.
He was a great war hero. But on top of that, a lot of people are saying, listen, you need a balanced press. You need the press out there telling the story. It's an important part of democracy. That's true. However, what if the press has a point of view and is drilling that point of view to the American people? Are they doing their job?
That's what Bill O'Reilly said last night.
To me, that doesn't seem like that's doing their job. They're inflicting their vision on the American people, and the American people are doing 90 million different things.
Is it really a free press if they're so overtly liberal?
Absolutely.
Well, we need an objective and adversarial press, but because the press, for the most part, leans so far to the left, they're not really objective. If you watched Katie Tur yesterday over on NBC Cable, you saw her ask a crazy question that apparently over there, it's okay. Watch this.
As we know, there's, since 2000, been a couple dozen suspicious deaths of journalists in Russia who came out against the government there. Donald Trump has made no secret about going after journalists and his distaste for any news that doesn't agree with him here. Do you find that this is a dangerous path he is heading down?
So the president's going to go after people. I think that could have been a couple of days ago.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, but she's basically saying, comparing President Trump to Vladimir Putin, saying people have mysteriously died in Russia, so journalists who don't agree with him here could die? Is that what she's insinuating?
She's been intimidated before, she said, because Donald Trump in the past at different events has pointed back to the press and say that all these people, they lie, and everyone would start yelling at her, and she has gotten intimidated before. But clearly, I don't actually think that she was trying to relay that Donald Trump was going to have journalists killed, like it's been alleged that Vladimir Putin has.
Well, I tell you what, Brian, yesterday, the Washington Post, Margaret Sullivan, said she fears journalists will be hunted down. So in that same vein...
But Donald Trump won't be behind it. She's not saying Donald Trump will be behind it.
Well, and
I think she kind of insinuated that.
And Jake Tapper, I know President Trump has criticized him in the past, but Jake Tapper came out and said, to stop whining. He had that message for the president. I just think it's just interesting that journalists, you're supposed to be fair and balanced. You're supposed to tell both sides of the story. You're not supposed to have a message necessarily for the president.
You look at the Center for Public Integrity, looked at the $400,000 given to political campaigns before the November election. 96% went to Hillary Clinton. So clearly they lean to the political left. And if they have an agenda in what is supposed to be right down the middle news, that gives the folks at home a certain message.
When Chris Matthews says after Donald Trump wins the election, says, I don't recognize the planet we're on, and Martha Raddatz cries in between, and you have people, this is the NBC news desk on the network. Meanwhile, Todd Starnes, this host, is one of the leading commentators in radio today. Everyone picks up his audio column, and he's got a best-selling book, The Deplorables Guide to Making America Great Again. Todd, are you surprised by the way the media is reacting to Donald Trump calling them out last week?
Brian, absolutely, positively not. As a matter of fact, as I write in the book, American newsrooms are the least diverse area in the entire country. And like Steve just said, those numbers coming from the Center for Public Integrity. More than 96% of the campaign cash going to Hillary Clinton. But it goes beyond that. The Washington Post says barely 7% of journalists, working journalists, consider themselves to be Republicans. And then you look at the people who go to church. Barely 8% of journalists attend church. So you can understand why there is such a bias in their coverage against those so-called gun-toting, Bible-clinging deplorables.
Well, Todd, he didn't get the popular vote. So how is this going to affect the folks who are watching out there, the viewers and the mainstream media? Is this going to backfire on them, or are the viewers going to like it?
Well, if the viewers